Hello, good morning, or whatever time you're joining me. This is our reading for Wednesday, February 26th, 2025. I'm not even going to look, see what those were. This deck's big and thick and a little hard to handle. It is the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot by Lo Scarabeo, if you like this deck. The cards are really thick, so you can't like riffle them, just so you know ahead of time. But I think it's one of those decks that'll just last forever. Okay, what is it that we need to know for today? Now we're coming up. Oops, see, that's my fault. We're coming up on No Buy Day on the 28th. So just to give you a warning, if you need to stock up and do some shopping, we need to do it the next couple of days. And like I've been telling you guys, we have the new worm moon. Some people are calling it the blood moon. But go with whatever you want. I go with the worm moon because it's March. And we have the new moon on the 27th. So that'll be tomorrow. But for today, what do we need to know? What is the most important thing? I think it's time to stop shuffling. But I haven't heard stop yet. It's called Pull Your Sleeves Up. That will help. There we go. Oh, much better. Right there. Okay. Ooh, yay. 9 of Pentacles. Luxury and wealth. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, yeah, she's got it all. That's for darn sure. Oh, except for some kind of rejection or something in the evening. Okay. Oops. I have a special meaning for this card when I get it personally, so I'll share that with you. But our theme for the day, we have the Queen of Pentacles. All the queens are receptive energy, so she's really good at receiving anything that is very resourceful, everything of the material realm. She's probably a really good cook. She loves everything around the home and in the garden. And you can see the garden right here with the 9 of Pentacles. But back to the Queen, she's just very down to earth and responsible, and she's geared towards what makes us more secure. So if this is a person in your life, should be a really good friend when it comes to getting things together and maybe even a party, and it's like, what can I bring type of a thing, or come over, I just made a big soup, a big pot of soup, and it's way more than I can eat in a week. Something like that. She's also the energy. So the court cards can be someone in your life. They can also be our inner qualities. So for us, it is about, just like I was saying, it's a good day for stocking up. Especially if we're doing no-buy Mondays, and some people are doing no-buy Fridays, but there's a big, wide movement of not buying a darn thing on the 28th. So here's our 2-day ahead warning about that. Get everything you need, get everything you want, and then maybe this one's about sticking it to the man or something. I don't know. 3 of Swords. But in the morning, when it comes to the 9 of Pentacles, this could be having, and depending on where where you live on the world and the weather, this could be a wonderful morning in the garden, sitting out and having your tea or your coffee outside because the weather's good enough. Other meanings with this card is focusing in on what matters to us most, enjoying all the pleasures of life when it comes through upright. And, I allowed for reversals, but we don't have... Ooh, yeah, I don't mind getting that guy reversed. This didn't come through for today, which is which is fine with me. So, but anyway, back to the Nine of Pentacles. She's my card for being very grateful for all the things that you have around you and everything that protects you. You know, there's a wall of protection behind her. You can see that, like, maybe this is her castle in the background and this is her vineyard, but she's focused in on all the things that she loves, and she's very grateful for, when she comes through upright, for all of her, you know, wealth and luxury, the luxury that's around us all the time. I mean, usually, I can't say all of us and I can't say all the time, but it's there most of the time. And it's good to be really, really grateful where and when and how we have our luxuries, our comforts, our creature comforts, our physical comforts. Now, my secret meaning with the Three of Swords when I see it is to remind myself to not betray myself. People can be very mean and they can reject us and they can say things that are cruel. They can write words that are cruel. And when those things happen, if you have any heartbreak, if you have rejection or cruelty or somebody leaving or somebody just being hateful, you know, it's good to don't take it personally. It's really good to not take it personally and go back to who you truly are and what you really have inside of you. And the outer world is not a reflection of who you truly are. When people are mean and cruel and rejectful, that's actually a reflection of them and their hate that they're projecting outward. So, yeah. It can sometimes have to do with, well, when it's reversed, it's usually about releasing pain, but it can sometimes be taking on, especially with these cards, the pain of just being a woman. It's much harder for women. I don't know that if men know that. I mean, they're probably really focused on protecting us and feeling, you know, a healthy man wants to protect the feminine. But then again, some of them aren't healthy and some of the women are awful, and sometimes it's just that way in life. But to not take this personally is the main message I'm getting there. So, okay, let's look at the astrology for the day, and here's the chart. And I have it set, oh, you know what? It went with the transits for, hold on, let me go back. Let's change the hours a little bit. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5. Yeah, 5's probably good enough. 5:11 a.m. Does that sound okay? Pacific time? Let's do that. The only thing that would change is the degree of the moon, because I have a natural house set up 0 degrees Aries, and there's no, it doesn't apply to, I have the natural zodiac setup. It doesn't apply to the houses. The readings I'm doing for these dailies don't apply to any house setup system because I don't know where you live. But the timing will change the moon. Well, and actually it'll move all the planets, a little bit forward, but some of them move so quick or so slowly that we won't see anything. But we can see that the moon is at 18 degrees of Aquarius. So now the moon rules our moods and the public. In Aquarius, we're wanting equality. We're wanting to be, well, we might be a little more outspoken. It's different than like Mars in Cancer, which is very subjective. Aquarius is objective, so we're thinking in certain ways, and we're at that second decan of the sign where, between 10 and 19 degrees, where we're still learning some lessons. So we might be, maybe we've been working on, maybe we have been inventing something new, and we're networking in a way to get whatever we've invented out there. And maybe we're just reinventing ourselves. You can see that it's square. We're in an approaching square to, so over the hours, we'll have an exact square to Uranus, which can really bring through some changes. Uranus is the change agent, but changes in what we value. And then the trine to Jupiter helps us to learn something new. Talk back and forth, gather information. Networking and gathering information is the theme for the day, I would say. And based on the cards, I think that maybe that's where the challenge of the Three of Swords comes in, because that's our Saturn and Libra card, so that would bring in the other air sign. But and so maybe somebody, maybe to relate to that Three of Swords here, would be that there's somebody who's feeling like they've learned so much and they know it all, and then they're putting down someone else who is just sitting there holding space, and maybe they're in the place of unity, and or maybe there's two people in a different point of view, both of them coming from duality, and they don't come together, and the energy goes so darn fast that it's like, wait a minute, what did you just say? Do you realize what you just said? Maybe something like slips out, possible. So, yeah. And remember, we're also in the pre-shadow, February 28th, we enter the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, when it's just, Mercury retrograde doesn't really start until, well, it doesn't station retrograde until March 15th, or actually March 14th Pacific time, but late at night. But anyway, just remember that when Mercury's retrograde, it's really easy to be misunderstood or not finish your sentence, and you make yourself misunderstood. I'm famous for that. Or thinking so fast that you're on to the next thing, and the person's sitting there going, wait, but what were you saying? And you have to stop and go back and reel yourself back and go, oh yeah, sorry, I thought it, but I didn't say it out loud. And then some people will just say things out loud, and then it's like, oh crap, did I say that out loud? Did I say the quiet part out loud? That kind of thing. That's definitely the flavor for today. Okay. Now, when we get to the new moon, it'll be at 9 degrees. The moon conjunct the sun will be right up in here. So, so let's see, for today, anything else? We still have the Mars trining Mercury and Saturn, so it's all about food and farming and growth and the comforts of home and emotional security, you wanting to trust your intuition, and there's that communication that helps you to master an area of your life. Saturn can bring in mastery, it can crystallize things. In Pisces, it can be compassion and intuition. It can be music. It can be art. It can be, you could have some really good, fun, connections with people with music, listening to music yourself, dancing. Be careful with your feet, like I was saying yesterday. And then we also have Mars is in conjunct the moon, so there might need to be an adjustment, especially early this morning, as to maybe there's a lot of things you want to do around the house, but then you remember you have these commitments with a group, and it's, you're trying to get as much done as you can in the morning, and or maybe it's like our Nine of Pentacles, where she just wants to, maybe you want to stay in the garden all day, but then you realized, oh, I have these commitments that I made before, maybe back when the moon was in Capricorn, and it's like, darn it, I shouldn't have signed up for that webinar or whatever that was. So yeah, there's always a price to pay. Being human, there's always a price to pay on Earth, always a price to pay. So, but it's okay, you're weighing the advantages and the disadvantages of everything all the time. That's what adulting is all about. So yeah, big changes possibly with the moon square Uranus, like I was saying. And then we also have Mars still in an approaching square. That we've had this before when Mars was retrograde. Now that it's going direct, we're getting it again over to Chiron. So the message here to me is to work to belong to yourself and have the courage to be your real self. As long as you're kind, you're going to be just fine. And that will grow the things in your life that you really want to have. And then we also have an aspect of the architect from Uranus to the south node. So we're just gathering more and more facts that mean something to us, that bring in meaningfulness and bring in those, it keeps us firmly rooted in our principles, like what matters most to us. And helps with security. Maybe we're making new changes to even security systems around our homes. And then with the double sextile here to Mercury and to this conjunction, remember this increase of energy in all realms of Pisces. Now Mercury's already gone 2 degrees past. We had the exact conjunction yesterday, but you can see how fast Mercury moves, and it's getting closer and closer to the north node. So now Saturn has taught us some lessons. Mercury has the information. We're thinking about new things and bigger things, and then pretty soon we'll start moving forward with that. And today is definitely a day for an opportunity. Now sextiles bring in opportunities, but it doesn't mean that you just sit and wait for them. You got to work the energy. But the energy will come in a very grounded way from the trials and tribulations of the past where you really, you've been working things to, to be very practical, detail-oriented. In Virgo, we're discriminating and learning more and more about how to create specific opportunities. And it could also have to do with recycling. And, it's kind of during the change of the seasons, we tend to do things like that. Especially if the weather's better and you can, if you have to go to a recycling yard, clean out your garage and all that, like I was doing a couple weeks ago and it's messed up my foot. Anyway, and it's still too cold to go, but I'm ready. But so the opposition to, North Node is always opposing the South Node. North Node's the future, South Node's the past. But with Mercury and Saturn coming close into orb with the North Node, now we have that opposition. So there's that nice, trying to balance out those polarities between Virgo and Pisces. Virgo is very practical and can attend to the details that have been part of a big inspiration, a big project maybe. So yeah, because Pisces is just so good for healing and for inclusion and flowing into things that help you, connect with your guides and maybe you're channeling some music, maybe you're channeling words, maybe you're just channeling good ideas for how to grow things around your home or how to be happy at home with the Mars in Cancer. So yeah. Okay, well that's all I have for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Or I'll be here tomorrow. I'll feel you. Not in a weird way, just, we vibe off each other. Okay, bye you guys.